Greetings YouTube, welcome to 0AD Newbie Rush. I'm Jim Kogan. We are back for a slightly late midweek duel. You could even call this a midweek noob duel. I'm not going to, because I did it for the very first episode and I thought it was a bit sort of discriminatory, so it's a midweek duel. It is a day late, I do apologise. Things still somewhat chaotic in the land of Jim at the moment. But we are moving ever closer to the launch of Alpha 25, 0AD Alpha 25. So there is a bit of a rush to get as many Alpha 24 games published as I possibly can. So this week we have, it's an interesting one. I've not seen this game. It's been sent to me. And the first thing I've noticed as we started playing, I knew it was a very long game, but we are at 1.25x speed. I think it was probably played at this, which explains why 0AD thinks this was such a long game. I imagine it will be wrapped up a lot quicker then, if that's the case. So things will roll pretty fast. We'll be at fast speed all the way through. It is two fairly inexperienced players, but we'll introduce those when we start the game. Other bit of news, we are still on the NRock mod, has not had an update for this week, but there will be some coming soon, I'm pretty certain, and we're looking forward to seeing the version that will be used when Alpha 25 goes live. But just to say, there have been a few comments about the, what should we say, the slightly lively acoustic properties in my new recording environment. Massive apologies, I have obviously moved house, I've moved rooms, there are a lot more reflections in the new room that I'm in. For this recording, I've taken some extraordinarily rudimentary steps to try and dampen the echo a bit, but I am more than aware that there needs to be some acoustic treatment in this room. I sort of got away with it in the last one, although it wasn't ideal. But definitely in the new place that I bring you 0AD Newbie Rush from, there is a lot more noticeable sort of echo and reflections, audio reflections on my audio, my mic audio. So aiming to try to slightly address that. I'm hoping it's going to be slightly better for this episode. But if it's been bothering you, I'm really sorry. It's going to take a bit of time. There will be gradual improvements to the acoustics in this room. But if this sounds all right, then you know that my rudimentary improvements are improving things. Right, let's get on with the game. So it's 1v1. It looks like a kind of medium mainland map. Is definitely the temperate, no, or is that the autumnal? I think that's autumnal biome. I make a mistake. And we'll get onto this quick, obviously, because we're running at 1.25 speed. Two players in the pink, fuchsia, slightly purple color here, playing as the Persians. We have OXD3CO.DE, who I'm going to call OXD3. Otherwise I will mess this up. OXD3 playing as the Persians, rating 1104. So relatively low rating. Not seen this player before. Do not know how good they are. They've gone for early cav, as I can see. In fact, yeah, Persians, not surprising. Their cav is very, very good. Let's have a quick look at the far end in the yellow, even lower rating. This is 1979 AD. A couple of years after when I was born, so won't give anything else about my age. But playing as the Morians, so Persians versus Morians, on paper two of the strongest civs in Alpha 24. Very intrigued to see how the two approaches work and what we get up to. Let's have a look at both of them. I do like the Morians as a civ. I think they have been made a lot more versatile in Alpha 24. We will see if we have expert exponents on these relative to civs. We're seeing horses idle. Interesting. Especially when there is that much hunt. If you're going for a horse-based approach, they're scouting, I think. Are they looking for the hunt, or is this just a very efficient scouting means? Let's look at populations. So OXD3 has only got a population of 13, nobody in production, which is weird. So not an approach that we would normally condone. You should be producing the whole time. 1979 AD, population of 20, but is or was is pop capped at 20. So I'm not quite sure what's going on here. We'll look at the approaches that they're doing first. Nobody's built a house, so that is why they are pop capped. Why are they not building houses? They've got enough to build houses. They could build quite a few houses. They're not producing anything. They got a whole load of people queued up. So another lot of cavalry and women. Is this a newbie error? It certainly looks like it. 3 minutes 20 in, should be trying to hit 30 by this point. And they're not. They're just sitting there at pop cap 20. Interesting. They started farming, but they aren't building houses. This is a mystery to me. And it's a mystery to me why OXD3 is not producing people. Producing 3 horses now, finally. So another 3 horses coming out. So I am expecting lots of hassle with cavalry. Let's just see what they're doing in terms of their production. So this is all for hunting purposes. No focus at all. They've cleaned up the berries. There are... Oh, no, they haven't. They haven't touched the berries. That is bizarre. That is why OXD3 has 0 food. So it's a total hunting approach. And now they can't produce anything. I've got to query that. I won't tell you who submitted this game. We're seeing mistakes, what I consider to be mistakes from both parties in this opening part of the game. They're so critical, the first few minutes. It could just be both players aren't used to playing at 1.25 speed. Maybe it's making people panic. I don't know. But you clear your resources nearby. I don't understand why they haven't gone for the berries. They've got, they've still only got the 4 women and 4 infantry they started with. Are they just producing? They're not producing anything now. Now they're producing 3 women. So population of 17 after 5 minutes 17 seconds. Appreciate this is at 1 1/4 speed. That ain't great, to be perfectly honest. And only now is the farm going down after making those cav. You can get more than 9 cav in that time, I believe. Well, I don't know. It's a lot of cavalry, and 1979 is he preparing for cavalry rushes? I don't know. He has now moved off that magical 20 miles, building a whole load of houses. Maybe he was just the idea was to get a stockpile of wood and then build houses that way. Population of 30 after 6 minutes, obviously a little bit skewed by the timing, still lower than where I would want it to be. And we can see OXD3 has pop capped himself at 20. So, we've all seen traditional beginnings on 0 AD. We know the most typical openings are you send some people to gather wood, you send some women to build a farmstead, or just gather the food directly. Choice of whether you get the berry gathering upgrade. These are traditional openings in the game. We're not seeing that from either player. 1979 did go for a little bit more of a traditional opening. They've gone to farming exceptionally early. Both have gone in for a little bit of cav. At the moment, I'm liking 1979 AD's approach more. And I think that is reflected in the fact that he has over a 10 population lead. Nobody's seriously gone in for infantry at this point. It's all female citizens for 1979 and mostly additional cav. I don't understand OXD3's approach unless he is planning to subtly build up lots of cav and basically try and win this in one go, just banking on the fact that there aren't much infantry on the board at the moment. It's curious. We have a house that's unbuilt. I dare say that 1979 AD doesn't really need it because he's got a capacity of 95. Based on this, we're looking at around 20 minutes by the time he gets near the population amount. So perhaps he is slightly overcompensating for the future there. It's curious. There's only one wood line on the go and only a small number of people servicing it. So wood in short supply, and all of it seemingly being ploughed into houses. We have an idle citizen there. I'm not meant to be too critical. The submitter of this game, and I won't tell you which player it is, as I said, we're seeing mistakes possibly from both, asked me to highlight anything that I saw clearly as an error, and yeah, that's what we're going to do on these games. We're going to look at what both players perhaps could be doing stronger, where they are having success, and perhaps where they could tighten their game up a little. Idle citizens, always an absolute loser immediately. You never want anyone idle. You have an indicator that will tell you if you've got idle citizens. There should be no reason for it, but it is easily done. But I mean, that is quite a while. That female citizen stood there. She's carrying a small amount of wood as well, not gathering wood here, not farming. Now she's on the move. So finally stuff happening there. Let's have a look at OXD3. OXD3 building houses as well. Got another storehouse, so 2 wood lines on the go. Cleaned up the berries pretty quick. Hasn't touched these over here, has gone to farming. I would say, while it's not exactly a mistake, but while you have within easy reach, while you've got additional berries, I think you should go for them. All of the hunt in this map has now largely been cleared by OXD3's calves. Still only the 9 of them, and they are travelling a long way to gather that food. So Farmstead here would reduce a small amount of that travel time, but it would still help. Is there any more hunt on the map, or is that it? There's a little bit over... Is that rabbits? Nobody bothers with rabbits. But that's it as far as hunt goes, and I think there isn't a lot here for 1979 AD to hunt either. Was that to see idle cav units? Has anybody done any scouting? So OXD3 has scouted about, well, it's just over 50% of the map. A couple of blind spots here. There is still, no, it is just rabbits. That, look at that. They are focusing on a fairly narrow channel through the middle, but it wouldn't surprise me as soon as the hunt wears out that these guys will probably go down and start attacking 1979 AD. 1979 AD has barely scouted at all, has put 4 horses up here standing there, not really strategically doing anything. They are not trying to check out the territory. So scouting is important, and it is quite important that you do it, especially early on when there aren't too many threats, or if you could see an advantage earlier. Both going to the town phase on 11 minutes 53 and 11:58 respectively. On low populations, 1979 AD, I can understand it is more of a position, although he has not very much infantry. OXD3 has now started producing infantry, stopped producing women. I don't understand this at all, to be perfectly honest. So, very, very strange indeed. Are we going to see... Yeah, we're seeing... Is that the first barracks for... yeah, first barracks for OXD3. Absolutely miles off the pace. I know we are moving at faster time, but producing no one, not producing anybody. Huge stockpiles, build something, make people. Don't just sit on it, because your opponent, a capable opponent, will be attacking you at this point. They will have scouted you. They will have seen that you've got next to nothing, and they will be making you pay. So it's interesting. Very tentative from both sides. The horses have gone to the other side now for 1979 AD. They are achieving no tactical significance there. One of them could be scouting the entire map, giving you full vision. 5 of them there, 4 of them rather. If they're looking for hunt, they're not going to find any. And a scout around in different directions with all those horses would prove that. They could be going up here and trying to open up opportunities to slow XD3 down even further. That is the fairest I could say. OXD3, I have to say, I am really surprised. By now, the top players are producing in batches of 5, 6, 7, 10s even. We've got 7 things coming out of the various buildings. So yeah, 7 infantry queued up He is producing in parallel, so this is good. It's better. It is interesting. We'll see how phase 2 buildings go up. We're not seeing anything yet. We aren't seeing much in the way of farming upgrades. And the farming itself has not been established. So where is the food coming from? Hunting is pretty much ended. Unless farming gets established really soon. As look at this, we've seen OXD3's food supply has been completely used up. There are berries there not being exploited at the moment, but this is going to stop OXD3 from producing the kind of numbers he needs to produce on a consistent basis going forward. He's got 8 units coming out. He's not going to make 8 units again after that. It's going to be very staggered. They're all coming out of here. They're about to finish this wood line over here. Should be starting on this one and expanding forward. Let's look at the approach from 1979 AD, who has spammed out 25 cav very quickly. And I don't quite know what they're doing. Looks like Horse of the Year show going on. There's some formation. Yeah, they're all trying to run in formation. This is going to be an attack, no doubt.
Yes, see?
It's 25 horses. They're having trouble negotiating the terrain. What are they going to discover? No scouting. These 25 horses are going for the first. Why have they stopped? Why have they stopped there? Send one in to look at it. Send them all in to attack, but don't just sit there. That is wasted time. They are serving no military significance apart from the fact that nothing is going to come this way. They know they're nowhere near the line yet. Now they're moving. What are they going to do? They've encountered some horses. That's going to be 2 kills straight away. So they are pretty lethal. They're now heading a big formation here of infantry, so they aren't going to have it their own way there. So yeah, instantly 3 kills straight away, 7 apiece. And now it's going OXD3's way as the infantry are getting stuck into these horses. And 1979 AD's cavalry is being decimated, obviously, by this infantry. It's ranged infantry. Looks like it's mostly archers. And they are largely all dead, apart from that one. And it's wisely running away. And OXD3 is not going to give pursuit. I've heard the pingy noise. That committed the broadcasting cardinal sin and took my phone not on mute. Let me just do that. Problem solved. Right. Where does this go next then? So, first major bit of confrontation. 1979 AD sacrificed pretty much 24 horses on a full frontal assault. Didn't break them up into groups. Could have sent some around here to attack the mines, to attack the farms, but didn't. There's a huge pile of horse corpses here, and it is mostly all horse. So what does 1979 do next? He's still got a population lead. 104 plays 58. We are on the clock at 1.25 speed, 18 minutes and 41 seconds in. Double the population for 1979 AD. Has he got any phase 2 buildings up? He's got stables, a barracks, he's got an elephant house, but no market, no blacksmith, and that I think is a mistake as well. No towers, so no defences. What is XD3 doing? Have we got a market? No. I am useless at locating buildings. That's farm. So both players seemingly reluctant to do anything in phase 2 that is sort of synonymous with getting you to phase 3. Don't understand that at all. Plenty of opportunities, plenty of resources to build all of the phase 2 buildings. OXD3 still has a shortfall of food, has not properly sorted out its food situation, has not exploited these berries here, and unsurprisingly is producing at a lower rate. I'm seeing a production of 40s. 40 things are coming out of barracks here. It's 5. Yeah, so... and 15 more cavalry. Okay, so And what's coming out the CC? Another, yeah, so 30 cavalry and, well, obviously another 10 infantry queued up from the various barracks. We've got people idle there, lots of them. It's all women, and why are they not doing stuff? There is a wood line on the go at the top, but they should be exploiting multiple wood lines. They haven't started mining yet. A whole plethora of relatively beginnerish errors being made here by 1979 AD. And lots and lots of idle citizens there not doing anything. So I don't condone either approach. I was liking the position that 1979 AD found himself in, but here we go again, a huge group. There's a bit more of a mix in this, so it's an army. Are they going to expand or are they going to attack something? The one confrontation basically was a suicide charge by 1979 AD. A full frontal assault. He's going with an elephant as well, so the elephant with no real combat capabilities. I think that might have got selected in error. What have we got here? We've got an elephant archer and worker elephants. 2 elephant archers in there somewhere. Okay, elephant archers I've never seen used to great effect in 0 AD. I've not used them much myself. Interesting, more barracks on the go, but still no phase 2 buildings, no market, no blacksmith. Nothing to make these troops stronger, nothing to enhance them. Any enhancements actually being made within... No, none of the upgrades? Don't think this is a great idea. Interesting. 25 archer elephants are coming out of there. Well, that is a first. I have never seen that before. So 1979 AD is definitely making units, that's what you could say. In the meantime, OXD3 has put down a market right at the back, which is a good move. We have no towers, no blacksmith. There is mining going on. Still not as much food production as there should be. There's an empty field there. There's an empty field there. 2 empty fields. Another one there. They've got to have people farming. I don't understand that at all, especially if you want to produce an army. He's still managed to produce 109 troops. Very, very, very strange indeed. So, not quite understanding this. And we are starting to see things happening. I don't know where these guys are going. Are they going to start mining now? Okay, so they've been sent off to mine. The horses being put into wibbly wobbly illogical formation, and this is better use. They're expanding, they're going for a further outward line. No permanent routes or expansion being put down, no market, and no blacksmith still. And more houses being built, even though he is a good 35 inside pop max. This is unnecessary. There is seemingly no appetite to build a strong economy, a strong army, and go over and win this game. This game's for the taking. This is interesting. If you ever wanted to see what an archer elephant traffic jam looked like, here it is. If these were cars, this would look like Bristol city centre at rush hour, with perhaps a little more coordination. But there we go. There they go. Well, if nothing else, it's going to give OXD3 something of a shock when 25 archer elephants rock into his base. I'm almost... You know, I'm intrigued as to what's going to happen here and how we defend the bag. How they defend it, I don't know what's going to happen. The curiosity continues. Have we got any other phase 2 buildings going up? Is that a temple? There is a temple. That's the stables. That's another barracks. What's this going up here? Another barracks. Yeah. I don't quite understand why they're building so many barracks. you can produce the number of population they've got in a fraction of the time with like 2 barracks. They don't need the multiples. They are overcompensating completely. There's another one going down there as well. This is mass overcompensation by OXD3 and mass overcompensation for population by 1979 AD. And this is hilarious. And they're just stood there. They're not really doing anything at the moment. I get the feeling that 1979 AD could win this by default just by rolling in there and killing things. He's got an enormous lead in terms of population. 203 plays 124. He has a greater number of supplementary workers. So in that group there are basically the women. It's a level number of infantry. Are these counted as... does the NROC mod count these as cavalry? That's interesting. Because I know war elephants, it counts as champions. It seems to be counting archer elephants as cav.
Yes.
Or is it? No, it's counting... Let's do the flip over there and see. It's not counting them at all. So it's not counting elephants. Intriguing. I'll have to query that one with Langbar. I don't know what it's classing these elephants as, but it doesn't seem to be counting them in any logical sort of way. Righto. We do know, though, that 1979 AD has reached a pop max of 240. So all of those houses, for all building all those houses in advance, he's managed to pop cap himself. But huge infantry. This is a winning position. If he'd just put the barracks down and upgraded them once, he would be in a position to start slaughtering everything. Could probably do with getting to phase 3 at Siege. We could see that now OXD3 is only one building away from getting to phase 3. How is 1979 AD? He is 3 entities remaining, so no... no real hurry or seemingly interest to phase up. They're not building any CCs. They haven't got enough to build a CC over here. They're getting scattered gathering wood. And ironically, there was plenty of woodlines in the vicinity. So this is a mysterious expansion. At a mysterious setup altogether. Are we actually going to see some combat soon? We are half an hour on the board with this sped up time. We've only seen that one real confrontation. That pretty much went OXD3's way. Let's see what buildings we've got gone down. Any additional ones? There is a blacksmith now. And yeah, upgrades have been taken. So... if combat started now and OXD3 has gone for an expansion and he's gone for moving up to phase 3, is 1979 AD aware of this? No, it's just out of his vision. And this isn't good for him because he is going to come up against a smaller army, although they are catching. He's reached the city phase, and they have at least got some upgrades. There's still concerns over the farming situation. They haven't got... have they put it near a wood line? Yeah, they have put it near a wood line, but they are desperately low on wood for building other stuff. They haven't started raiding the market at all, which would certainly equalise things. That CC has gone up.
Vale.
And we have movement. I think they've become aware of it now. They are galloping past. They find them there. Anybody gone straight at the CC? The CC fires arrows, so you always stick a few people in there. You'll get a load of free kills from that. Nobody has garrisoned themselves in the CC. And we are seeing some impact here from 1979. He has equalised and gone into the lead in terms of the kills. Has he seen these elephants? The amount of archery fire now that will be coming in. And they're quite well armoured. Look at this. Look at this. The kills are now piling up. 45, 56 kills. for 1979 AD. So the elephant archers, they have a good rate of fire and a good concentration fire, and they are making a difference. 65 kills plays 58, and they're trying to capture that CC, and if he doesn't garrison somebody in it soon, they will with the numbers they've got. Garrison it? No, he's pulled the plug on it. So disastrous expansion from OXD3. He had the troops and the means. If he'd have just, they got no siege, they're not going to take over that CC. If he'd have just sent 20 troops into the CC, pulled everyone else back, they could have picked off these guys from distance. They could have picked them off in relative safety. If they tried going for a capture, they would just be getting killed right, left, centre by fire from that CC. As it was, I think OXD3 pulled down that CC himself, and now this is not working at all, is it? For OXD3 is not producing anyone, population down to 82, and has totally been intimidated by the sight of how many elephants? 39 archer elephants. What are 39 archer elephants actually going to do for you if you've got enough troops out there? It's infantry's down to 28. I think OXD3 has dropped the ball royally here. He's not producing anyone. Doesn't have much food in reserve. Doesn't have anywhere near enough wood. Has he got a wood line on the go? No, his one wood line that was going has been effectively eliminated by this march here. This isn't good at all, and for all the criticism of the approach, and it's not a great approach by 1979 AD. It proved to be quite wasteful. He's only killed a handful of troops more than OXD3 did. I know it's in fact he's now killed less because they're getting flak from a tower. They're being shot up by various buildings. They are getting captures on the periphery here. But, I mean, you're capturing a house right on the edge of the territory. It's not like he's anywhere near pop cap. Go for a military target. Try and capture that thing. He's getting fire taken from there. They are trying to shoot down the buildings with arrows. This is going to take forever. 25 things in production briefly there. What are these that's come out? This is melee troops, I think. Shield bearers. They are going to... if they can get close enough and they're not taking too much arrow fire, then they're going to get a lot of kills. Yeah, the kill-death ratio is still very much in favour of OXD3CO. But what is he producing? Is 30 more things coming out. Is this more archer elephants? He is trying to win by weight of archer elephants, but we're not seeing any phase 3 buildings popping up here. And yeah, OXD3 is panicking and pulling troops away from other things to fight in this front line. This is not what you want to be doing. Not at all. I mean, they are killing loads of these archer elephants. These guys seem to be a disproportionate number of horses. There's only 4 of them there. They're light, medium cavalry. They are cutting through the archer elephants. The archer elephants are now no longer making much of an impact. 1979 AD still has vastly more troops. It's 89 more than OXD3. OXD3 is producing, and currently 1979 AD is not. But I mean, this is just attritional slaughter by the wrong kinds of troops doing the wrong sorts of things, fighting each other off to a needless stalemate. They're just charging into each other in this one area. There is no. You've got all these elephants, send these guys around here, then you'd have to defend. You could take out the fields, you could take out all the women. Don't just let them stand there and be killed. They are now coming up against troops that they can't fight off, and they're currently outnumbered. Don't send them up in dribbles, attack in waves. So yeah, it's questionable. So we're seeing much better prowess of building up population and an army by 1979 AD. We're seeing better defending from OXD3. We're not seeing an attacking masterclass from 1979 AD. And we aren't seeing the development of phase 3 buildings, particularly siege. What are they doing now? Are they going after them? They need to consolidate. I think the worst thing they could do is go on a jolly south. That would not be good. They're just going to run into more elephants. Build towers all the way around and get a siege workshop down. They need to establish a wood line urgently. They haven't got a working wood line at the moment, and there's huge potential over here, right here where they were. I know it's a bit of a front line. Look, if 30, 40 archer elephants didn't make a dent here, what are another 5 gonna do? Yeah, send them home. And sadly, they aren't going to do anything at all. They can't build, they can't carry stuff, they can't chop wood. These are dead resources, metaphorically, and they're about to literally be dead resources if he presses on with that. There is a big group of infantry in there now. It's 32 Indian swordsmen and Persian immortals. So we are seeing some champions being thrown into the mix here to fight them off. And this probably does explain why OXD3 is getting such success in terms of the fighting at the moment. Yeah, there's no kills being registered by 1979 AD at all. That population gap is now down to 130. It's 135 plays 104, and he's still producing, but he's got all the resources. But why isn't 1979 AD getting himself to phase 3, building the blacksmith, getting his troops stronger, and really socking it to OXD3? I gotta say, although I don't like OXD3's approach, I don't think it's very efficient, and he's made just as many newbie mistakes as 1979 AD. His position is far better. If he would just utilise that, the resources he's got near him, strengthen those troops more, there is a comfortable victory on the cards for him there. As it is, he's sitting back. Have they still not established a wood line? Nope. And they're having to defend here. Smaller numbers. Is this going to go the same way? Yeah, we're seeing over 300 kills and increasing small number of extra kills there. The elephants have stopped. That is a huge amount of resources at 1970 AD committed to elephant archers, and it's all for nothing, to be perfectly honest. So nothing but archers now, and a bit of an archer battle in the middle, and he's outnumbered. It's not a fight that 1979 AD is going to win there. Is somebody going to change tack? And is 1979 AD going to change tack, do what he should be doing at least 10 minutes ago, getting himself to phase 3? He's got quite a bit of resources at his disposal, building those phase 2 buildings, strengthening his troops, and actually attacking with some tactical prowess. Don't think he is, and it looks like OXD3 is just content to stand there. He is not going back to work. They are not. I do not understand this. Now the farmers are off farming, gathering wood. Your farmers farm. They produce your perpetual source of food. Get your people collecting wood and leave the farmers to make the food. You need both. You need them all. And these guys stood completely idle. What can you say? They've now gone back to mining. Very, very bizarre. We are 42 minutes, 15 seconds in on the clock, a little bit faster than that in reality because of the increased time, increased game speed. But we are seeing some abject lessons as to how not to efficiently play 0 AD. And curiously, the farmers have been taken off food. There's a few of them still gathering wood, the rest are mining. And the one thing, I suppose you could say that there is a need for metal, but there's plenty of resources to evenly distribute, and they're walking long distances. They're now going to build a storehouse and start a wood line. It is long overdue. Nobody's raided the market. strangely enough, 1979 AD is now in deficit in population. So if you've got 100 population lead, and quite a lot of that lead is infantry, and then you end up in the position that 1979 AD is in, and it isn't down to OXD3 playing a tactically ingenious game, because it certainly isn't. You have to rethink your strategy of how this game works and how you get success. Even at this speed, this game could have been over for both of these players. They could have suffered absolutely humiliating defeats in under 20 minutes with the approaches they've employed. And we've got more archer elephants. More archer elephants. Okay. Do we have a blacksmith yet? No, we've got another elephant house. Is this to make more archer elephants? There are other units available in 0 AD. Other units are available. Another elephant house. I can only conclude that 1979 AD tried this with all the archers once, got a lucky result against somebody who was not expected to defend against 25 or 30 archery elephants, and has decided that that is the pro level way to play the game. The losses that he has taken, and he won't have the benefit of the Endrock mod to know the deficit in terms of losses, but I mean, you could look at the stats. You could bring up stats any time in a game. A 0.5 kill death ratio. So he is, he's in deficit in the kill death ratio. Elephant archers, no matter how, and he got more elephant archers than you would ever possibly want in the makeup of an army, and they did absolutely nothing. He went from having a huge lead to having a deficit. He's now pulled it level in terms of production. That's just because he's produced a whole load of elephant archers. But he's lost, he's losing at twice the rate. I cannot understand this at all. But what is OXD3 doing to push forward? As an elephant house of his own, so he could make war elephants. War elephants going to be decisive. I don't know, and there's a fortress going up, so it's a good defensive position. We haven't seen a siege workshop, so we're not going to see any rams as yet. Bit of an expansion. I don't understand why it doesn't go for another expansion like it did last time. That wood line is now not being utilised, and only 151 wood. What is going on? Then now, are they collecting wood here? They built a storehouse. They built a storehouse, and they're exploiting this here. Get a CC down. Put it here. Put towers around it, and go in for a big attack. And you'll probably draw the elephant archers over if he senses pressure, and then you can slaughter them on his front line and press in and do some damage. That elephant house, has it gone up yet? There it is. Not enough resources, not enough food. Not enough food to produce the elephants, because all the farmers, a few of them have been sent back, but most of his farms are completely idle, not producing food. I'd still not use the berries over there. So this game is being elongated massively by these basic tactical errors. At least there is another wood line. Are they gathering wood? No, they're mining.
Salam.
It's almost as if OXD3 feels like there's going to be some kind of worldwide stone shortage and is trying to clear it off the entire map. He's like, we don't need food, we don't need wood, but we need stone and metal. That is what we need. Alright, here is an expansion. They've gone all of 2 foot across here, and they're raiding that bit of wood. I would have gone central and starting to impose on this line here. How many elephant archers have we got now? 28 of them in there. And there's a worker elephant being chucked in for good measure. Populations are large. There's another 25. I bet that's elephants. Is it elephants that's coming out? It's 25 of something. It's 5 more archer elephants. Another 5 there. Yeah, curiouser and curiouser. If it was a competition for producing the best formation of elephants, no doubt 1979 AD would be winning this. It's not, there isn't, and he's not. So I don't get this at all. Still no sign of defensive structures. Put towers down here. Your line now pushes them right up to here. Dominate this territory. Prevent them from getting this wood. Stick towers here. Go and hassle these guys with archers from distance. Get easy kills. That looks like a war elephant. We have a lone war elephant. We have one weapon of siege has finally been created. Apparently there are 7 elephants now. I can't find them. It's supposed to be 7. Oh no, that's just 7 champion units. Must be counting the war elephant, and there must be 7 immortals in there somewhere. Some of them presumably over here. Yeah, I don't know where they've all gone. They're not doing a surprise attack. There is certainly no element of surprise being utilised here. In production, they're both now producing healthy numbers, 6 and 7 respectively. Could be producing more elephants. So I can't see where they're actually producing from. Wherever they are, they've sprung out and gone. So there we are. So no production again from OXD3. Population of 160. 1979 AD. Population of 210. And here comes another suicide charge. This is just the advanced elephant and infantry force. The other guys here are hanging back and not doing anything at this point. So get it into full, and they're running away. Are they being lured to some? Oh, this is a trap. This is to lure them into a whole load of elephants. Now, if there were towers here, they could be fighting in the shadow of towers. They're obviously going to slaughter these guys in seconds, and it's just a question as to what all these elephants do. We have some kind of charity thing. This is the hero. And there's now going to be a slow slaughter of archer elephants. Yeah, kill-death ratio has actually gone up for OXD3. I'm beginning to think 1979 AD should resign at this point. If he has no plan B, I mean, his plan A was not very good, and his plan B has just been to replicate plan A on a larger scale with added elephant. And archer elephants, if you improve the archery tradition, if you get the basic upgrades. Has he got the archery tradition upgrade? That's something he could have got. Maybe it's not for this civ, I don't know. It looks like he may have got that, but yeah. I mean, he's ploughing forward, but his kill-death ratio hasn't improved. But I don't know what OXD3 is doing. He's not garrisoned anybody in the CC, not built towers here. Could have been doing most of the, killing most of these elephants and cutting them down without even employing any troops having to stop gathering resources. So it's a hugely, hugely inefficient use of your units. Both sides guilty of that. Putting too much emphasis on this type of combat. This type of combat does not get you very far against decent opponents. Yeah. Fight smarter. Use towers. Build temples. Fight in the shadow of those buildings. Garrison. Put a fortress there. Could have built a fortress next to it that they could have garrisoned. So many things that they could have and should have done differently in this game. Population lead now with OXD3. He can afford to fight this tentatively. 147 plays 112, and a sizable infantry. There's 74 infantry plays 25, and 9 champions in there. And they're just arriving in dribs and drabs, and they're going to get cut to ribbons. There's another enormous pile of dead dead archer elephants. This is the third such attack that 1917 AD has done. It hasn't worked the first, second, or third time. Is he still doing it? Is he still producing elephants? Surely not. Can he produce anything of these? He's producing 15 of something. He's going for archers. So archers have got him some success. But, right, now is the time to put pressure on. Put towers all the way around here. OXD3CO, not DE. This is your moment. Garrison them all, and anything leaving this base will get shot and weakened before it's even had a chance to arrive. Not doing it though. And OXD3 has, to his credit, got most of the upgrades for the blacksmith apart from the swords. So all that metal and stone collecting has been put to at least some good use. What is 1979 AD planning next? He's in massive trouble. It's got a deficit of 86 population down. Has he lost all his worker elephants? He's not built anything over there. He's sending people to gather wood. Are they going to walk all the way back? Has he run out of wood? He's run out of wood. He's got a wood line here within reach of a CC. He's got a wood line back here, which is out of harm's way. A small wood line at the back. Still trees near the base. Why? Yeah, he's got a worker elephant now, so he's finally sent him out. Why not build an expansion and try and flank in? Oh, and we have an attack. So no siege. It's 21 Persian immortals. This is going to kill any infantry they come up against. They're going to possibly get a capture on the CC, seeing as nobody seems to be capable of garrisoning anything. They are going to slaughter these guys over here. Without a doubt, these guys are as good as dead. They've been cut off from their own CC. They're just standing there waiting to be slaughtered. There goes the worker elephant. Anything that comes out here is too late now. He hasn't got the resources to produce enough. And there's still archer elephants coming out. The most ineffective unit that he has produced time and time again. That, you know, if you're making tons of these things and they're getting cut down in seconds and your kill death ratio is less than 1, you've got to think outside the box. You've got to concede that you're doing this wrong. So yeah, they're closing in on. There's no siege. I don't understand why there isn't any siege being produced. I know he's committed a lot to he's got an elephant house as well. He's not produced any more war elephants. Very, very strange. Is there a war elephant in amongst that lot? No. So the one war elephant that we saw OXD3 produce has not been utilised. They're coming round here now to pick a fight with whatever infantry is left down here. Population of 49. We know who's going to win this, so I'm going to speed this up even further because this is dead time. Let's put it on insane speed. Anything happen in insane speed? They capture a house. There is some women and 1 cavalry unit garrisoned in there. I think we can speed this right up. Let's go fast forward. Yeah, they're capturing houses. They're still killing with impunity. Is 1979 AD under the impression you could still turn this around? I don't know. Right, let's go fast forward 10 times. No great fluctuations, just loss of infrastructure. And 1979 AD has been completely powerless to do anything in the time we've sped this up. The game's over an hour. Obviously, we played most of it at high speed. When it came down to fighting, 1979 AD has proved to be inept at combat in 0 AD. Is what I meant to say. And That's... oh, he's building a wonder right next to it. Okay. Frankly, he can build whatever he likes. There is nothing that there's nothing that 1979 AD is going to be able to do about this. If he just built a ram or one war elephant, he could finish this now. Population still of 43. We must be coming to the end, guys. Come on. Yeah, there's murder happening. Down to 25. Why doesn't he resign? He must be absolutely bored stiff just watching this. Why doesn't 1979 AD resign? I don't know. Alright, we're going to fast forward it right to the end and see how it finishes. So they're trying to capture a CC. They haven't got enough troops on it. There's 19 women in it. We're not going to have to wait for them to actually produce one siege engine. No, they've captured it. Yep, that's all done. Looks like 1979 AD is going to fight to the very last unit. There are 2 of them. How entirely pointless. Come on, are they in that house? Yeah, they're in that house. Guys, they're in the house. There goes the house. There they go. And that is the end. Right, so now most of it we watched on 125 speed. We watched certainly what was probably would have been the last. I'm glad I sped it up. 1 hour 18, even on fast speed, is way too long for a 1v1 game on a small map with the kind of military prowess that you can get in Alpha 24. Let's have a look at the summary and see what we can digest from that. So clearly, by an enormous margin, OXD3 the winner. Didn't like OXD3's opening strategy. Liked 1979 AD's opening strategy slightly more, although both were painfully inefficient and slow and not something that would get you any change out of a player over a rating of 1200 at all. So both probably at the rating that they, I don't want to say deserve to be, but it is indicative of that performance by both of them. The one thing that OXD3 absolutely did know a bit about was killing the opposition, and evidently 1979 AD knew hardly anything about it at all. It was impressive to produce that many archer elephants, to utilize them so poorly, to just every single attack, including the first one with massive cavalry. 1979 AD's sole attacking strategy was to build a big group of troops and march them straight down the middle of the map into harm's way. I don't think it mattered what kind of troops they were, how they were being deployed, how, you know, there was no breaking off the attack, sending little units into Harris to undermine the other players' sort of infrastructure. It was, here is a big group of troops, there's your troops, I'm going to attack them, and now all my troops are dead. That is what happened. This is reflected clearly in the military score, 9,108 to OXD3. Plays a fairly low 3388 for 1979 AD. Let's have a look at some charts here. Let's look at populations. So, as you can see, in terms of population, 1979 AD was much more successful at building its population. It is still slow by slightly higher level standards, probably at least 50% slower than he would need in a normal speed game against anybody rated 1200 or higher who had played more than 10 games. That would not have, you know, this approach would not have got you anywhere against them. OXD3 should have been dead by about this point. Being that far behind with the opportunities there, I cannot understand why 1979 AD did not get phase 2 buildings quickly, upgrade his troops, put the blacksmith down early, get to phase 3, build a varied army of melee and of ranged units, get to war elephants or siege engines and attack from multiple flanks at once. He had time and resources and numbers to do it. Could have absolutely wiped out OXD3 inside 20 minutes, even at 1.25 speed. Had no attacking prowess whatsoever. Now, OXD3 is obviously playing this as best he can. Both of these players are new, so I don't want to be massively harsh on either of them. And OXD3 hung around. He did get to phase 3. He did upgrade his troops. He did produce some champion units, and he basically fought off every single thing that 1979 AD threw at him easily. There was no challenge whatsoever. Once the big numbers of armies started clashing, OXD3 won every military confrontation every single time, usually with fewer numbers. So, yeah. Both could have easily lost in the first 20 minutes against a better player. 1979 AD made sure he lost over the course of however many minutes that game was, and OXD3 basically won that by virtue of the fact that he knew a little bit about upgrading and hung in there and defended all right, and then just carried on and started bringing the fight further and further down the map. That is about all you can say. It was interesting from a new player perspective. Like I said, I don't want to come across as too critical. There was quite a lot in there. There weren't many things that they did that you would recommend to a new player. A lot of the things run against the things that I talk about in my tutorials, certainly in things like the Tom Zero AD newbie tutorials. A lot of the practices that they undertook in that are not anywhere out of the training manual. Let's have a look at the kill death ratio. 2.14. That just underlines how easy 1979 AD's troops were to kill, and they were very, very easy. Okay, I think we'll draw a line under that one. It was interesting. Sometimes you get pro level games on here. Sometimes it's in the middle. Sometimes it's new players, and you can maybe see back to when you first started playing and say, I made those mistakes as well. There are a few mistakes that 1979 AD made that I don't think I've ever seen anybody else make. So that was curious, but I do hope both of them have took something from that game, no doubt, and will have learned quite a bit. If they're watching this, congratulations to both of you for taking part, especially OXD3 who submitted that game. Yeah, I think there is a lot that both players could take from that commentary and learn from. Just don't take it personally, but there's a lot in that game that both of you could have done more efficiently, and I am absolutely certain will do going forward. But I enjoyed that. That was interesting. There will be more games soon. There will certainly be more 1v1s coming up, so I try and get rid of them before Alpha 25. But all that remains, I have to thank both players again, especially OXD3 for submitting the game. Well played, good victory, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave a comment, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon to be notified of future episodes. If you'd like one of your matches featured on the show, see the video description of how you can submit your replays. And if you can't wait for the next episode, then why not check out these playlists in the end titles for more replays, commentary, and tutorials on Zero AD Newbie Rush. I'll see you in the next video.